Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Saskatoon Roller Derby League's season closer, but more importantly than that, this is our 10th year Clash reunion. That's right, you heard that. 10 years of Saskatoon Roller Derby. So before we get the action started today, we want to send this over to our 101 Derby video. Make sure that you know what's going on the track.
Roller derby is played by two teams on an oval track. Each game is broken into two halves, which are then broken into smaller sections called jams. Each jam lasts up to 2 minutes, and there's 30 seconds in between for players to switch off. Both teams field up to 5 skaters at the start of the jam. 4 of these skaters are called blockers, and 1 is the jammer. The jammer wears a helmet cover with a star on it and scores points for the team. The blockers, meanwhile, are playing both offense and defense, helping their jammer while stopping the other teams. Both teams' blockers make up what is called the pack. They must stay close to each other throughout the game. The two jammers start the jam behind the pack and must get through all the skaters for an initial pass before they can score points. When the initial pass is complete, the jammer can score 1 point for every opponent they pass with their hips. The first jammer out the pack legally is called lead jammer, which means they can end the jam anytime they want before the 2 minutes are up.
All right, now that we got a little bit of the training out of the way, let's get started. First up, today's game, we're going to have the hometown team, Saskatoon Killa Bees, going to go up against Magic Kingdom's Flower Power. Let's watch some awesome 10th year Clash reunion derby. Let's get started. Today we've got Saskatoon Roller Derby's 10-year Clash reunion. That's right, 10 years of roller derby in Saskatoon. I know I've said it, but that's absolutely incredible. So today for your broadcast, myself, I am Fat Boy. I'm sitting along with
Mad Max. Just came out of a roller derby game and I'm ready to watch some more action.
There you go, the action never stops. Whether you're playing it or calling it, you're always working. So let's start with our first jam of the game. Lining up, you have 8 for Flower Power. That's Dame Tamer.
And looks like we got 82 Smashinator for the Killa Bees.
It looks like we're going to do Canada here quickly.
Oh, Canada, our home and native land, true patriot love, in all our sons command, with glowing hearts we see thee rise, the true north strong and free, from far and wide, oh Canada, we stand on guard for thee. God keep our land glorious and free. Oh Canada, we stand on guard for thee. Oh Canada, we stand on guard for thee. Damn, girl. All right, let's get
Singing
ready
of
for some
Canada,
derby.
that was Saskatoon Roller Derby League's Mind Fox player, Mish Behaven, showing off a little bit of her microphone skills as well tonight.
All right, we're lining up for that first jam.
Dame Tamer taking a little bit of a step or two back there. She's just trying to position, it looks like, to get a little bit more speed against her opponent.
Our defense is set up pretty tight here, so it'll be a struggle to see who fights through the pack first. Ooh, but Smashinator gets an early lead.
Dame Tamer right on her rear though. Ooh, she loses her footing though coming around that corner. That's going to give Smashinator a chance to take a little bit of a lead here.
All right. Ooh, she's toeing the line, and she calls off the jam.
Smashinator going in there. She took a nice hit there from 115. Jazz or not knocks her to the outside of the track there. So she calls that jam off, allowing herself to get 2 points, holding Flower Power scoreless.
Sometimes it's good strategy to call off the jam early just so the other jammer can't get through and get any points. It's a good way to keep racking up small amounts of points and keeping your other opponents at a low score.
You betcha. You know, it's a fast scoring game. It doesn't take a lot of time to score enough points there to change that lead.
Ooh, right now, the Killer Bees have Gotham jamming. She's struggling. They've got some hard defense going on in the back.
And that's Role jamming for Flower Power. She's first one through, so she gets lead jammer. You can tell she's lead jammer. The referee that's following her, he will hold his hands up, make an L with his fingers, that way ensuring her position is clear.
Ooh, Gotham gets out though, and the Killer Bees are holding her up.
Role was able to get through past the jammer there for the Killer Bees. So she's going to score a grand slam. That gives her 5 points instead of 4. All right, who do we got lining up now?
Setting up. We got some good defense for the Bees. Mamie Pond, 007, is holding up as the brace. She's the strong defensive player that helps guide the other 2 defensive players to block the jammer on the opposing team to create a strong defensive triangle.
And she shows it there as Gypsy Joe jamming for the Flower Power goes right to the back, and she gets knocked around a little bit. Now Gypsy Joe has been issued a penalty, so she's going to have to go sit down in the penalty box. So this means now that the jammer for the Bees has a power jam situation.
Yeah, power jam is when there's only one jammer on the track. They get to score 5 points coming around, 4 for the blockers on the track and 1 for the jammer in the box. It looks like 21 Pterodactyl is the jammer for the Killer Bees right now, and she's breaking her way through the pack there. Oh yeah. Oh, she's getting pushed around a bit, but she managed to find her way through.
Now, McLeod 9 has been sent into the penalty box. It might have been a back block I saw.
Ooh. Now you'll see the black players coming in to cause a little bit of mayhem here. They're trying to help their jammer out, help her get through and score some points. Sometimes that results in a few penalties, but it worked pretty well there for Killer Bees.
So Mamie Pound on that one was able to pick up another 3 points. Look at that. You got Chesty lining up there, going with Dame Tamer, both of them giving each other a hug there on the jam line there. Just showing you as much of a vicious sport as it may be, there's no shortage of camaraderie.
Ooh. So we got Chesty jamming for the Killer Bees. She's a bit of a bulldozer, so you'll see her plow her way through the defense here. She's getting a little bit of it back, but she's definitely staying strong and fighting through.
While she's trying to get through, Dame Tamer was able to skip out here just past that first corner, so she's got lead jam. She's already back in the pack. McLeod 9 trying to catch up to her. Unable to, so Dame Tamer gets by, makes 4 points, catches up with Chesty, then calls that jam off before she's able to pick any up.
All right, we got a fresh line of faces out here. We got Skid jamming for the Killer Bees, that's number 54.
Looks like Rollaby jamming again for Flower Power.
All right. Now we're setting up a strong defense for the Killer Bees. Got that tripod stance down. They're going to try to keep Rollaby at bay. Mamie Pond coming in to pick up the pinch.
Not a lot of people getting very far here.
Oh, she pops out. But the Killer Bee defense is there to catch her again.
Skid was knocked out by the Flower Power defense, so she was forced back. Now, Mamie Pound has been given a penalty, so she's going to have to go sit down for a little while.
Ooh. Awesome. And it looks like Skid's heading to the box too. So it's a power jam for Flower Power.
And that was a cut track penalty to Skid. And a cut track penalty is when you leave bounds and return in front of a position that you did not have. So if you were to pass a player out of bounds and come back in, that's considered a cut track penalty. Now, if you take your foot out and come back in with the same position or behind the person, you can avoid that penalty as long as you're quick about it.
And you just saw a big hit from Irish out there. That's number 24, Irish. He slammed the jammer roller boy out of bounds.
It's nice to see some good hits already. Good way to know that it's going to be a hard-hitting game.
Yeah, so it looks like we have 10 for the Killa Bees and 21 for Flower Power coming into this next jam.
All right, here we go, setting up again. You got Slamazonian out there, one of the blockers for the Flower Power, and you can see the way they're trying to take that start there. They step back and allow their jammer to take that speed and hopefully try and bust through.
Ooh, and the jammer's back in for the Killa Bees. Now it's a little bit of a mayhem here as people struggle to find position and reform.
Rocket and Pterodactyl up there trying to make sure that Gypsy Joe is not able to make it through. However, in the confusion, you did have, I believe that is Skid right now. Yeah, she come back on the track. She was able to get through and pick up lead jam. Runs right into the back of Bull You Over, and she bulls her out of bounds to the inside there.
Oh, it looks like she got another cut track penalty though, so she is on her way back to the box. Sometimes jammers get caught in what I like to call the jammer loop, in which they get a penalty, there's a power jam, and they don't even get to come back into the jam before the next jam starts. And so they're basically, they come in, they get a penalty, they come out, they come in, they get a penalty, they come out, and the team's not able to send another jammer in, so they're stuck in a penalty loop.
We had a little bit of action there as that was 7-6-2, knocking out the jammer there, Gypsy Joe, for the Flower Power. That was a bit of a spin.
Yeah, because it's a power jam right now, Killa Bees have to put up some strong defense to try to make sure that the jammer for the Flower Power doesn't get ahead and get through.
Rocket and Melkery in there doing their best. Unfortunately, not quite enough is Gypsy Joe is able to get through, picking up another 5 points.
She's taking it easy, coming in through slow.
I didn't see what happened, but Skid started heading to the track and she was sent right back to the penalty boxes. Something to note here is you're only allowed, I believe, 7 penalties in a game before you are ejected from that game. That's it, 7 penalties in the game.
Oh, and it looks like Gypsy Joe is sent to the box too, just in time for the jam to be called off.
So now, if Skid had not been released yet, you cannot have both jammers in the penalty box. So what happens if one jammer's in the box and somebody else is sent in, the other jammer, the second jammer in only serves the same amount of time as the first jammer. So if Skid was in the box for 10 seconds when Gypsy Joe was sent in, then Skid is released and Gypsy Joe only has to serve 10 seconds.
Ooh, and it looks like Stig, number 20 for Killa Bees, is coming in as the jammer.
She's going to sit there and she's going to fight against number 20, Fish, for Flower Power there.
A lot of people think that jammers need to be tiny and speedy, but you can be all types of person and be a really good jammer.
Oh, and Chesty and who is that? That's Dame Tamer having a little bit of a battle there. They kind of got rough and tough pretty quick.
All right, yeah, we're still in a power jam for the Killa Bees, and Stig is racking up those points, coming through for another 5.
Now, we do have a star pass. Now, who do we have now? That's Dame Tamer going to be jamming now. So the pivot, the person with the stripe on their helmet, they are allowed to receive the star. Ooh, Stig goes down hard there. Bit of a pile up.
And I believe she calls it off.
just showing you how fast things can happen here.
It looks like we're sitting 27 for the Killa Bees to 43 for Flower Power.
So the start pass. Oh, here we go. We got a replay here. Stig's coming in, does a little bumping and grinding there with 115, Jazz or not. Both of them take a little bit of a tumble, but Stig took a few more turns, I think. She wasn't quite able to get up as fast.
All right, we're back into it. We've got Mamie Pond jamming for the Killa Bees, and she is fighting fierce, but she gets bumped out. One of the things you can do as a blocker is when you hit the jammer out and you stay inbounds, you're allowed to skate back and make her come in behind where you skated back. You can really make a jammer's life a bad time doing that.
Rollerby was able to get through and take lead jam. She's already gotten through for her scoring pass. She gets a grand slam. She picks up 5 there.
Ooh, and it looks like the Killa Bees are attempting a star pass here. Oh, ooh. But Deathnella is slammed to the bounds. Ooh.
And that's Slamazonian there with a clockwise block. You're not allowed to hit in the opposing direction. You all skate around the same way. If you make any form of movement in the opposite direction and make contact, you can be issued that penalty.
All right, so Deathnella is now jamming for the Killa Bees because she got a star pass. And she's making her first pass here, coming around the track to try to score some points.
We've tried to say the start pass a couple times now, but too much good hitting and hard action going on here. So the start pass, right, the pivot, the person with the stripe can receive the star from the jammer, and that then makes them the jammer.
And we're into a replay.
Ooh. There we go.
There's that clockwise block we talked about.
And you can see her as soon as she turns and makes motion moving in the opposite direction. There you go. Clear as a bell. There is no missing that penalty.
Yep, skid went down hard.
Whew. We're only, what, not even 5 minutes into the game, and we're getting lots of good hits like this. It's going to be a hard one to go today.
All right, so Gotham's up now for the Killa Bees.
Now, we do have a timeout being called.
A few fun facts for those of you who might not have seen roller derby before. The people with the stars on the side of their helmets are the jammers. And they are the point scorers in the game. So they've got to try to come around through the pack, all the way around the track, and come back through again. They get a point for every blocker they pass, and the jammer in the lead can call off the jam whenever they want.
And they can do that by taking their hands in and you know, flapping their hips, we'll call it. They kind of look like they're trying to fly when they do it. And it's their way of signaling to the ref that, okay, I want that jam called off. And you'll see that often when one jammer is able to pick up points before the other team has scored, and they'll call that off. And now we might even get a chance to see it here as jamming for Flower Power. I can't see the number. I think it's Bootstrap, but I'm not 100%. No, I think it's Mexi Crash.
And she just calls it off, just like we said.
There you go. The perfect example there of that, right? She was able to pick up her points, 4 of them, and before the jammer for the Killa Bees could make any, she calls it off. That gives them 4 points to nothing.
Ooh, we got a replay here. Oh, hard hit.
A good sign of showing that all you got to be able to do is position yourself in the right spot at the right time to make a big impact.
Ooh, looks like we've got McLeod jamming for the Killa Bees, or McLeod 9, if you will.
I'm gonna go up against Dame Tamer on this one. Now Dame Tamer goes right into that pack, but she's pushed down.
Ooh, and McLeod 9 gets the early lead running on her toe stops.
Now Dame Tamer's trying to get through, but she's stuck up against a few of those Killa Bees. I believe that was Smashinator that was giving her some trouble there.
All right, and see, look, we've got McLeod is getting around back, and she calls it off.
That was Candy Stroyer there that was taking her back. On that, right, that's what we were talking about. If you get knocked out, you cannot cut in front and take an extra position. You're forced to go behind the person you were behind. So if they go backwards around the track, you were forced to go back behind them. Now that play only works so far as the pack is defined as the closest people within 20 feet. So when it gets too far spread, they eventually call no pack and you have to reform. So they have to play that with a little bit of care and strategy.
Definitely. Looks like we've got, I think that's Skid jamming for the Killer Bees, but I'll have to take a look at her number.
You betcha that is Skid jamming for the Killa Bees, and you had Mexi Crash jamming for the Flower Power, but she was given a forearm penalty.
Woo, and Skid did a nice little turnaround coming right out of that defense and skating around, coming in for her second pass.
So Skid's got the opportunity now, getting help from Chesty Rocket, Deathnella, and the Stig on the track, trying to get that power jam situation.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. Oh.
Getting pushed around there a little bit by Fish of the Flower Power team.
Oh yeah, it looks like the Killa Bees are trying to make some way for Skid to get through, but no, she's still getting held up by that defense for the Flower Power.
That's Jazzer Knott out there, and Bootstrap just making it miserable for Skid. You also got Parks and Wreck as well.
Oh, yeah, she is just getting beat up. Oh, shoot.
Skid takes a hard hit there. She's a little slow getting up, but she's able to pick her up on her own. She's going out for some more.
Wow, this kid doesn't quit. And Skid's just coming up from juniors too, so she's one of the youngest players on the Killer Bees right now.
And that shows you the determination, and she got a little bit of help there from her teammate Stig telling her, yeah, it's okay, call it off. Take a rest. Ooh. Wow, that is some hard-hitting action. So, where are we? We got 14 minutes left. Killa Bees 33, Flower Power leading with 65.
Now, the Jammers get a lot of attention coming into the game, but we've got some solid defense set up for the Killer Bees right now. There's Smashinator, Irish, and, oh shoot, I cannot see, but they are a solid team holding up the Jammer for Flower Power hard as they can.
And showing you just how much those blockers are for Flower Power as well. You had number 8 Dame Tamer there working, I believe, with that was Slamazonian knocking Pterodactyl to the ground.
Woo, woo. Oh, Mallory will not quit taking the Jammer for Flower Power back. She is goading her.
While she's doing that, up at the front, you got Slamazonian working with one of her teammates. That's 3-3 Candy Destroyer, knocking Pterodactyl to the inside, so she's going to be forced dragged back. Ooh, we got some rough action going on in that pack there.
Oh, and it looks like Terror is out. Some penalty I didn't see, but she's in the box now for 30 seconds.
I think Terror might have got a cut track penalty, but a little more confusing. We had the Jammer loser star, and you have to have that star on your helmet to score points. If you do not have the star, you are unable to score.
So now what we have right now is the Flower Power is on a power jam, but the Killer Bees got the lead jam in the start. So Flower Power can't call off the jam, but neither can the Killer Bees. So we're basically stuck in the jam until either 2 minutes is up or Pterodactyl comes back in. And she's coming back in now. Woo!
Now in that time for a power jam, that Killer Bee defense has just been relentless against Roller Bee, not allowing her to get through.
Yeah, Pterodactyl's coming back in too.
And it's her favorite 2 blockers, Slamazonian and Candy Destroyer, not allowing her to get far. Candy Destroyer chasing her around the track there.
Ooh, and there's another star pass for Flower Power.
Now Pterodactyl was able to sneak past, so she picks up 5 points on that one.
And the jam is up.
Ooh-wee, that was some hard-hitting 2-minute roller derby. That was impressive.
Definitely, and it definitely sucks when you're a jammer and you see yourself coming up against some of those big players. You know you're gonna get your butt handed to you sometimes, but you gotta just keep pushing through and keep trying to get those points.
So here we saw what happened there as Rollerby was trying to do a start pass. She kind of tossed it. Her pivot missed it, got it up again, but then the pivot was issued a penalty, so she was forced to drop the star and head to the penalty box, as she hadn't actually accepted it yet.
Ooh, Gotham's caught up here, but it looks like a power jam for the Killer Bees. Flower Power is going to be playing some hard defense.
Jazzer is jamming for the Flower Power. She was actually so quick there. She got her lead initial pass done and lead jam. She scored 5 points. Now Gotham's stuck up there. She's going shoulder to shoulder with Mexi Crash.
Oh, they are not letting her through.
Gotham going right into the back of Bully over there. She was kind of stopped. Now she has herself a power jam as Jazz or not. Gypsy Joe, correction, has been sent to the penalty box.
Oh, just kidding. Now Gotham's going to the penalty box.
And here's the prime example of you can only serve as much time as the first person. So as Gypsy Joe comes back on the track, Gotham is only going to have to stay there for the same amount of time as Gypsy Joe's penalty. Just because you're short a jammer doesn't make it any easier, as Gypsy Joe is stuck up against Mamie Pound there. Rocket's in there as well. McLeod 9.
Oh, they let her through. And looks like Gotham's back in, looking for that clear pathway through, but ooh, she's got some competition here.
Yeah, she's gonna get chased around there by Fish, able to beat past her, so she completes an initial pass. We got somebody else going down to the ground now. Just hard hitting action everywhere you look.
Oh, and a cut track for Gotham. This has just been a brutal jam for her.
We got a little bit of sticky action going on there, but Gypsy Joe's able to get through, picks up 5 points.
All right, Killa Bees gonna have to pick up some hard defense. Oh, and the jam is called off.
Now, with the Killa Bees jammer in the penalty box, she is not able to return. She still has to serve that full penalty, so that means that the Flower Power jammer here is going to get a power start. She's gonna have no jammer to fight with off that line.
So yeah, the Killa Bees are gonna have to put up some tough defense, just keep her pushing her back, and not letting her through. But of course, the Flower Power is gonna try to do a little offense and wiggle in between and cause a little bit of a mayhem, get their jammer through.
Before we get to see that action, Coach McQuack there has called a timeout for the Killa Bees. That'll be very interesting to see what kind of strategy these teams take into this jam with it being a power start.
Our backs, as much as it sucks, give them our backs, because when they hit us in the back, they're going to go to the penalty box. We've got a hell of a ref crew right now.
Oh, yeah.
These guys are catching everything.
Oh, yeah. Literally.
So, like, all we need to do is feed them those penalties and take full advantage of them. It's not hard.
Take her spot if she gets kicked out.
I don't think she's going to be. They're not discussing anything.
Yeah.
Good? No, yeah, she's good.
It's still a minute though. Yeah. Right? Yeah.
Maybe, I don't know.
Yeah, she's.
Did she get a second one?
Cody was
Okay.
like this.
Okay, in that case, yeah, then she's in for the full minute.
Yeah, full minute.
But it wasn't a forceful tap.
So you can hear there, Coach McQuack, he's making sure that his girls know, like, hey, if you can set it up and take that penalty from the other team, you're helping your team along, as they're going to lose that blocker. And as you can see, when both these teams are full strength, they're not having an easy go getting through there.
No, it definitely helps to have a few blockers in the box if you're a jammer. Really gives you that extra room to skate through and cut through the pack.
You betcha. So, power start for Flower Power. Ooh. And moving fast there. They picked Parks and Rec to do the jamming on this time. She's using that strength she's got there as she's able to bowl her way through. A little bit of showboating as she goes past her bench there, getting some cheers from her teamwork.
Sometimes it's hard not to showboat when you do a good jam.
Now you can see the strategy they've used there as Parks and Rec is coming up there. She stops and allows her blockers to get in and try and disrupt the path, hopefully making it easier for her to get through there.
And Spanx Gibbons just doing her best to try to hold her off, just try to keep her from coming through. It looks like she gets a penalty for her efforts.
Yeah, I think Spanx Gibbon was a failure to reform.
I definitely could be. Ooh, and the jam is called off. But now Killa Bees are getting to come in with their jammer, so it's no longer quite the same power start for Flower Power. And they're sending in Def Nella for their jammer.
Now you can see the orange line in front of the blockers here. That is the start box. They have to stay behind that to start. And as you can see, the Flower Power have gone all the way to the front of the box, while the Killa Bees have remained all the way at the back of the box. Now, it'll be interesting when they start the jam if they continue that strategy. And we do have another timeout called. Oh, what an absolutely fantastic way to start. You couldn't ask for a better game to start your 10th year Crash reunion.
Definitely.
Than what we've watched already. We're 7 minutes, 39 seconds left, and we have seen some massive hits. We've seen some really good strategy, some awesome play. Yeah, this is going to be an exciting one right to the end here.
Yeah, both teams are playing really killer defense. Even when they have only 2 blockers on, they've just been holding up and holding those jammers in, trying their best.
So there you go. Dame Tamer starts that one off, and she takes a little bit of a boop by Malkery there, knocks her to the inside, forces her out.
Yes.
And she does it again. However, she's not considered out, so she gets lead jammer somewhere in that mix. Pterodactyl has been issued a penalty.
And Irish just gives a bit of a bump to the pivot for Flower Power. You can see that it gets a little tense sometimes when you're out there, a little heated.
You betcha. So Dame Tamer was able to complete her scoring pass. She was able to grand slam, pick up 5. Now a little bit of teamwork there as Irish gives Malkery a little bit of a shove, trying to knock Dame Tamer off her feet. However, not quite as effective as they would hope. And she calls the jam off.
All right, we're heading back in with a slightly fuller defense for the Killer Bees, only they still got Pterodactyl in the penalty box. And it looks like Coach McQuack is talking to the refs, doing an official review.
Black, what is your challenge?
Just at the end of that jam, there was a no pack called. You repeated it multiple times, and only on the 3rd time did anybody in tie-dye take a step forward to reform that pack. I would like to see a failure to reform issued on a member of that pack, because it took 3 calls for that for anybody to move.
Okay, thank you. We will.
Thank you.
So you hear there Coach McQuack looking for a failure to reform penalty as that no pack was called. And that's what we were talking about, where the pack is defined by the most people within that 20-foot span. And when you do not reform that pack, it is a penalty.
Definitely. And if you have like a group of the black team ahead, for example, and the tie-dye are behind, the black team can keep skating up, and until they say failure to reform, they just have to stop. But the tie-dye team would have to skate up as fast as they can to make that pack happen again. So it sometimes can be in your advantage to be the team at the top of the pack.
And you see that a fair bit as one team is trying to either stretch it out to hopefully get their jammer in there, or if the let's say the Killa Bees have the jammer for the Flower Power stuck back there, the Flower Power may try and skate ahead. And if they get far enough ahead, eventually no pack will be called. Now, while they're ahead, they more or less just have to stop, where the Killa Bees in the back would have to stop their assertive blocking and then reform that pack. So that gives a really good opportunity for their stuck jammer to try and get through.
Mm-hmm.
We're still waiting for our official review to be announced here. You can see the captains there. The Flower Power today, they are from the Magic Kingdom, actually. They're a mixed together team from a whole bunch of different places, so they don't have a coach today. They're just coaching themselves. Looks like we might be ready for our...
Considering the actions during that jam, then I think there was a bit of confusion because Pink had almost had it reformed with the skater who was down and then up, but I think that, yes, I'm going to issue a failure to reform penalty to Pink 115, who I think is the skater who was in the best position to have reformed the pack. So if you could put Pink 115 into the block box as a blocker. Thank you.
So there you go, head ref, Genuine, issuing that failure to reform penalty to 115, that's Jazernaut. So the Flower Power will start one blocker short on this one. And they won't be alone either, because Pterodactyl is going to be starting in the box as well for the Killa Bees.
Yep, so it's an even field right now. We got Mimi Pond being strong brace here for the Killa Bee defense, holding up her other 2 blockers and forming that really firm tripod.
You got Gypsy Joe on this one for the Flower Power. She's right into that tripod.
Oh yes, Mimi Pond using her butt to try to keep the jammer from getting through, but she managed to pop herself right out. All right, Pterodactyl's back in from her penalty, coming in to help the defense for the Killa Bees. Oh, and it looks like the Killa Bees jammer is also serving some time in the box right now too. So it's a power jam for Flower Power. And she calls it. So Flower Power will be starting the power start, but the Killa Bees at least have 4 blockers out on the track to try to stop her.
Who do we have setting up there? I can see Chesty's going to be at the top of that brace for the Killa Bees.
We've also got Stig, and I got a close-up, but some pretty strong blockers for sure for the Killa Bees, trying to keep that jammer from getting through. Oh, and the Killa Bees jammer is back in. Smashinator
goes right to bull you over. Doesn't quite knock her over, but she does bounce around her. She gets through, so that's lead jammer for Smashinator.
All right. Flower Power gets through too, but Smashinator is already on her first pass, scoring 4 points.
That's Rollaby jamming for the Flower Powers. She's just coming now back to the pack, gonna try and get through. Trying to get a little teamwork there from Bull You Over.
Smashinator fighting through the crowd, trying to use Stig as a block to get herself through, and she does. It's successful.
Now for the Flower Power, you got Fish and Mexi Crash. They're trying their best, giving their jammer a hand, but issued a penalty. I was not able to see what it is, but that is Rollaby that's going to have to sit down for a while, so that gives a power jam for the Killa Bees.
And Smashinator is taking full advantage of that power jam. She is just ripping through, getting that 5-point lead.
Betcha Smashinator's really showing what she can do with her speed tonight.
She just came up from juniors as well, so she's just a very strong young force on this team.
Now she's set here against 3 really strong blockers for the Flower Power. We've been watching them all night. Mexi Crash, Fish, and Bull You Over.
But she gets through again, picking up another 5 points for the Killa Bees.
Rollaby back on the track now. Rollaby was knocked to the inside, so she's going to be forced back. Little bit of skating there. She's able to get through on the outside, so she completes her scoring pass. That's 4 points picked up.
But Smashinator comes out through too, so she gets another 4. Coming back, trying to lap the jammer for Flower Power. Ooh, and Stig just takes her right down.
The Stig showing what she can do just by standing strong there.
Oh, and the jam's off, but that was a great jam for Smashinator. She picked up a ton of points.
No doubt. We've now, with that one, we're up to a score of 115 for the Flower Power. Killa Bees 63.
Yeah, is that a 23-point jam? Oh, 26-point jam.
66 now for the Killa Bees. There we go.
Oh, watching Smashinator come through on this replay, just like nothing, cutting through like butter.
Right from the inside, she goes right between 88 and 20, and she's able to get through for that. That's just a beautiful pass.
All right, we're back into the jam here. Oh, and looks like we got lead jam. That's McLeod9 coming through on lead jammer. Followed hot on her tail by the jammer for Flower Power. That's
Dame Tamer. We did have a multiplayer block issued, I believe. Was that McLeod9? No, I don't think so.
McLeod9 looks like she called it off.
No, sorry, McLeod9 was jamming. But the Killa Bees were issued a multiplayer block there, so they are going to be down a blocker. Multiplayer block being when you form a chain, like think Red Rover when you form arms together. If you make contact, you cannot hold your arms together. You must break that contact. You're allowed to hold your ground, but you cannot be holding on to another player.
All right. Coming in, Skids jamming for the Killa Bees, and we got Gotham forming that brace. Trying to be strong with Death Nella, but Flower Power is not having any of it.
Pterodactyl chasing Gypsy Joe down, but Gypsy Joe is able to show just how light she is on her feet as she gets by, takes lead jam.
Oh, Skid is fighting her way through, but she keeps getting just dogged by those Flower Power blockers.
You got, who is that out there? That's Bootstrap and Fish again. Now we do have a penalty issue to Flower Power. They're gonna lose their pivot here. That's Mexi Crash gonna sit down.
And Gypsy Joe calls it off.
We got a minute and 10 seconds, a little less than that now. And it doesn't matter what the period clock says. If there's a jam started and the period clock goes to 0, the game, the half, or the game does not finish until the jammer either calls it off or the jam time runs out. So we can run down to 3 seconds, start the jam. We can have a whole 2 minutes of action.
It looks like we got Stig jamming up against Rollaby.
These two are fun to watch. Stig today has shown that she's got that strength. Rollaby has been showing her speed and finesse.
And Stig's acting as a blocker and a jammer at the same time. You see her push Rollaby out and right into the trap of the blockers for the Killa Bees.
Now Stig was fighting there against Bull You Over and Slamazonian. And I believe Bull You Over was the one that got her dragged all the way back.
Oh, looks like an elbow, but we'll see. Nope, no elbow call for 50. Looks like, but we did get a penalty for 7:62.
Vicious Valkyrie was issued a penalty there. That was a pretty rough hit.
Whew. Oh, did the Stig get lead jam here? It's coming around, followed closely by Rollaby.
Impressive, I tell you. Stig there on that last pass. Did she take a hard hit trying to get there through? Whew.
Oh, Rollaby pops through. She doesn't have lead jam, but she's ahead of Stig right now.
And the Stig stuck up against that that group there. You know, it's absolutely astonishing to watch Slamazonian there. Mexi Crash.
Yeah, she was built for the sport of roller derby.
Oh yeah, and Bull You Over there as well. Those women, I tell you, they know what they're doing. So with that now, our time is up. Oh, with interesting. Coach McQuack is calling a official review here at the halftime. So while he's doing that, let's take a look at our score. The Flower Power leading with 125, and the Killa Bees with 68. So that is the first part of our first game of our 10-year Clash reunion. I've been Fat Boy along with
Mad Max.
We're gonna take a break. We'll catch you for the second half of this excellent game. All right, we're back now. We're gonna take a look at this highlight reel from this first one. That's Fish there going up against the Stig, doing a little bit of pounding around.
Oh yeah, and this bit looks like we've got, ooh, jammer for Flower Power just sneaking through.
Smashinator there doing a little bit of damage. That was that beautiful pass from the inside right to the outside, almost untouched. Oh, that was beautiful.
Yeah. Oh. Now I see like the offensive moves on Flower Power, just really cutting through there for Gypsy Joe.
And Death Nella and Pterodactyl there with that defensive work. It was just, you could not ask for a better game to start your 10th year season closer. More importantly, your 10th year Clash reunion.
Yeah, because if you can believe it, roller derby's been going strong in Saskatoon for 10 whole years, and we're just happy to keep this community growing and going.
You betcha. So now we got Gypsy Joe for the Flower Power. Ooh, look at that, right on the inside. She gets through, picks up lead jammer.
Yeah, so now the Killer Bees are just trying to give Gotham a way through and give her a whip. Oh, beautiful whip from Smashinator. A whip is when one of the blockers extends their hand and just pulls their jammer through to get her a bit of a lead. It's showcased in the movie Whip It, if you've seen that movie.
Now you got Chesty out there, Smashinator, Nella, that Nella, and who was the other one there that I saw? Vexatious Valkyrie, doing a very good job holding Gypsy Joe, keeping keeping Gypsy Joe to only 2 points.
Nice. Yeah, see, oh, we got a replay here on that. Oh, that was a good hit. Just sent Smashinator to the ground.
A little bit of rough and tumble.
Okay, so we're setting up again. A bit of a cluster pack here. Everybody's on top of each other, and the two jammers are just jostling to get through.
That's McLeod 9 and Mexi Crash this time. A Mexi Crash knocked to the outside, forced backwards. McLeod 9 is stuck up against, I believe that's Fish Dame Terror and 88 Bootstrap.
Ooh, we got a bit of action here, and the jammer for Flower Power just gets right out, but McLeod 9 has got the lead.
Now we do have 2 penalties issued to Flower Power. That's Bootstrap and Dame Tamer. They're both going to go sit down. Oh, maybe not. There might have been some confusion there as Bootstrap is sent back to the track.
And the jam gets called off, so we don't even get to see what happened there.
We got no points scored, I don't think, on that one.
No. All right, setting up again. Looks like we've got the Stig, Pterodactyl, and oh, I can't see, but some definite good defense. It looks like Spank's giving.
And I think jamming now, we're going to have Smashinator, and that's going to be Parks and Rec she's going to try and tangle with on this one.
Let's see if Smashinator can live up to her powerful jam she did earlier.
Getting held back there. That's
Ooh,
that big line again. Slamazonian.
But she gets that lead jam.
Now Parks and Rex gets a little bit of a whoop push by Slamazonian, propels her down the track a little bit.
All right. Oh, yeah. Ooh, and she's just got fancy feet. Calling it off. Yep, Smashinator calls it off after scoring a few points here.
That was absolutely awesome. Smashinator there takes the hit there by Slamazonian. Doesn't bother her, tiptoes it, gets another hit there by Can Destroyer. Again, tiptoes, and away she goes.
Yeah, she's got amazing feet.
That was fantastic.
All right, we got another jam coming up here. Looks like Chesty's out for the Killa Bees.
Looks like that's going to be Gypsy Joe for the Flower Power again. Gypsy Joe, holy smokes, through that pack. I think she was untouched.
Yeah, cuts it like butter. But Chesty, she remains undeterred. She can just bowl over those blockers.
Chesty is, she's got a lot of strength on her. She can really move.
Yeah, there's definitely something to be said to having power when you're a jammer. Really being able to, like, see, she just takes her down. Looks like she got a penalty for her efforts, though. Oh.
Unfortunately, we do have an injury. I think that hit from Chesty might have been a little too rough.
So everybody's going to take a knee here until we get this injury sorted out.
That was not sure what happened, but it was a big hit there. Chesty ran into one of the Flower Power teams, and for the safety of the skaters, the injured, and the other ones, as soon as there's an injury on the track, all the skaters will take a knee. And until they've been cleared by the refereeing staff, they will remain on their knees. At which point they are cleared, they will return to their benches while the first aid staff care for the injured party. Shows you just how, what are we, 26 minutes, 14 seconds. Barely even into this half, and there's already been a bit of an injury. It's
definitely a rough and tumble sport, that's for sure, but she's getting up.
There we go, up on her own feet.
The audience is giving her a round of applause. She's going to skate out with the help of the medics.
No, you never, it's, and for those of you at home, it's a concrete floor they're playing on. There's no padding to it. They're not wearing, they got elbow pads, knee pads, helmets, mouth guards. When they go down hard. That is not a soft floor to land on.
No, and you definitely see quite a few injuries in roller derby, but there's definitely like a passion for a game and an enthusiasm that keeps people coming back even after they sprain their ankle, break arms, legs, what have you. People just keep coming back because they love the sport so much.
There's a big community to go along with it, so you're never on your own. There's always support.
And don't let the injuries deter you. The Saskatoon Roller Derby League is actually going to be doing fresh meat intake coming up, and that's on November 26th. So if you've ever been interested in trying your hand at roller derby, think it's a fun and exciting sport that you should, try and give a go at, fresh meat intake will be on November 26th, and you can find it on the Saskatoon Roller Derby Facebook page. You can learn all about it there. I did it myself, and it was a very worthwhile and rewarding experience. I never looked back.
Not only that, but let's say you don't maybe want to do some of the skating. We're always looking for referees. We're always looking for non-skating officials. Those are the lovely people we have today that are in the center of the rink there. They are the people behind the scenes running the scoreboards. We're always looking for NSOs. Hey, maybe you talk on a microphone about as good as we do. We're looking for announcers. So anything, if you want to learn anything about roller derby, you just want to have a good time, come on out. Sunday, November 26th, Thursday, November 30th, 6 to 9 on the 26th, 7 to 10 on the 30th. And maybe you can get into the sport too.
Well, so Flower Power is coming in with a power jam here. So,
and that's Mexi Crash for Flower Power, so she was able to get through there very quickly.
Yep, so SRDL is going to have to, Killer Bees are going to have to hold her up as best as they can.
Trying to get a little bit of help from Slamazonian there, bumping into Irish. But she went the other way, so she's now one-on-one with Spanx Given. Spanx Given a failure to reform penalties, so she's being sent to the box.
Oh, but Chesty's coming back in. She's served her time, and she's ready to roll.
Chesty's coming in with some velocity. Oh, she takes a hit there from Slamazoni and knocks Chesty over.
Yeah.
Chesty's taking a little bit of a step back here. She's going to pick some speed up. She goes in there quite quickly. Now, Mexi Crash is working on the outside.
Oh, Skid's trying to hold her up. Just really trying to hammer in that defense. Oh, Chesty goes out hard there. The hands of Slamazoni, and those two are powerhouses against each other.
Now, it's one of the refs have been trying to symbol to Mexi Crash that she was given a forearm penalty. She took a while to realize it, though, and while that was happening, she doesn't start her time in the penalty until she sits in the box.
It's interesting, too. You'll see Slamazonian just pops Skid out. Skid's just blocking right now, but sometimes there's a bit of jostling between blockers, even when the jammer's not in the zone. Whoa, but Chesty just hammers through that defense.
That was a lot of bodies there. We got a back block penalty to Skid, so she's going to sit that one down. Whew, there was a lot of movement there.
So yeah, let's watch this on replay. Just Chesty's coming in hot here. Flower Power's a little scattered, and she just, whoa, they all go down.
1, 2, 3, 4. That was all of them, just like that. And Chesty got through. Holy smokes.
Takes them down like dominoes.
Now all the action we were looking at there on the replay, the jam was called off. They both were able to pick up a few more points. Well, now with that, we're going to have a score. Flower Power 143, Killa Bees 78. Woo.
So the Killa Bees are Saskatoon's developmental team, and they really work on practicing skills, trying things that players aren't used to doing, just having fun and really working on the sport. The Mind Fox is the advanced team, and they're going to be playing next, and that is going to be one heck of a game because they compete across the country and even in the United States, and they are just phenomenal players. So stay tuned for that action after this game's over.
You betcha it'll be an excellent second game. They're playing a team from Fernie today, too.
Yeah, they came all the way even through the snow, and the Avalanche City All-Stars are going to be coming in, and it's going to be a great game.
Oh, you betcha. That'll be a fun one to watch, too. So now you've got Dame Tamer going to be jamming for the Flower Power. We got a couple bodies in the box. I believe that's Skid, blocker sitting in the penalty box, as well as Chesty. Ooh. So this will be the third jam round for Chesty.
Looks like Dame Tamer just came out of that like nobody's business.
Yeah, she came out of there very fast.
Coming through, but you know, the Killer Bees with only 2 blockers. Oh, Skid coming back in. They're still managing to hit her out.
Now the stick got a good block there, but unfortunately after the block there was some confusion. She was issued an elbow penalty, so she's being sent to the box.
Yep, so it's just Mamie and Skid to try to hold down the fort, trying to use the pack to their advantage.
Dame Tamer right into Mamie Pound there. Mamie Pound issued a penalty, so now she's going to go sit down.
So it looks like there's only one blocker for the Saskatoon team here, and it's Skid trying to hold up pass. Oh, no, looks like Smashinator comes back in too. So 2 blockers, 1 jammer. They're going to have to stick it out for the next jam.
We have a skate malfunction here. I think she actually had an axle come right off her skate. Look at that.
Yeah, that definitely, oh shoot, wow. That happens sometimes, but I've never seen both wheels come off at the same time. That's interesting.
It looks like the whole axle thing come right up. Wow.
Yeah.
Look at that. Things you don't see every day.
No, you definitely have to check your skates before you play, because things like toe stops, axles, wheels, they might come off, and you want to be prepared for any eventuality.
Very interesting. Okay, well, after that little bit of confusion there, we do have a timeout being called.
Given a little bit of time to regroup for both teams, get back in the zone, and there's been a lot of penalties in the last few minutes, so looks like the Killer Bees are going to be trying to reduce that and really just get back to the basics.
Just a reminder again, with all these penalties, 7, magic number 7 penalties, you're out.
There's a few other penalties that you can get that'll just eject you from the game. Running into the ref, crashing into the penalty box, really anything that could injure someone who's either reffing or not protected by gear. So you got to be really careful when skating off the track.
Now Mallory and Death Nella there were fighting up against Gypsy Joe. Gypsy Joe is able to knock him around a little bit when the no pack was called. She's able to get past, completes her initial.
Looks like McLeod was able to use her fellow blockers to just push her way through. Great opening. Gypsy Joe calls it off.
McLeod showing that speed as she was trying to get to that pack, try and score a couple points there. Gypsy Joe, as we talked about, using that strategy, call it off before the other jammer gets there and keep them scoreless. And we are starting to get quite the separation. It just keep going. 153 for the Flower Power. Killa Bees, 78. Now we got Parks and Rec going up against Gotham on this one.
The Flower Power tried to trick the Killer Bee defense there, but they managed to reform around them again, just in the nick of time. Just Gotham breaking through.
Gotham took a bit of a bounce to the outside and used it to her advantage as she's able to skate through. Parks and Rec getting through on the inside now.
All right. The Flower Power defense is going to try to hold Gotham up until their player can get on through, but she calls it off.
Both teams, they're 1 point picked up on that one. Gotham not able to call it out quite fast enough.
Ooh, here we got some replay. Like she's coming up through that tough defense. And
Slamazonian there getting in the way.
But she was able to just tiptoe around them. Yeah, jammers are able to use their toe stops in so many different ways just to get through the pack. They're not just for stopping, they're for running, they're for bouncing around, they're for jumping. They can do all sorts of things.
I've tried skating once. I can't even do that, let alone try and dance around on toe stops. My goodness.
Yeah, sometimes you'll catch some really cool jumps too, so keep an eye out for that.
So you got Gypsy Joe was jamming. She has been issued a penalty, so she's going to go sit down.
And Skid coming through. She's got a bit of a cheering section. Everybody going wild. As I said before, Skid's a junior coming up to play with the Killer Bees. So this is, I believe, her first game as a senior player. Ooh, and she gets knocked out hard.
That was Mexi Crash there knocking her to the inside. That's the pivot for Flower Power right now. Skid able to get through. And that was Vexatious Valkyrie coming in, giving Mexi Crash a shove. That allows Skid her chance to get past.
A 5-scoring pass too, so that's no joke here.
Back on the track now. Gypsy Joe's going to try this out.
Oh, yeah, and they push her out, taking her back.
Not having much luck there fighting up against, I think that was Mexi Crash.
And Skid is managing to get through, cutting through for another 4 points.
Skid showing what you can do with a little bit of speed as well.
Oh, and they take out the jammer.
She went for a good little slide there on the outside of the track.
Yeah, Skid's coming up through the pack again. And it looks like she's got a penalty.
Now you got Fish giving some shove in there. That's going to allow Gypsy Joe to get through a little quicker, so she's able to get by.
That'll be a power jam for her, so the Bees defense is really going to have to work hard here, especially against the offensive moves that they're going to be going up against.
It does look like that was Gypsy Joe's initial pass, though, so she wasn't able to score any points off of it. And because we do not have a lead jammer, it can't be called off, but we've only got 5 seconds left.
Ooh, and she comes on through again.
Picks up 5 points, 5 seconds goes by, the whistle's blown.
It was a good start for Skid, but that penalty really slowed her roll.
And you can see Skid is standing in the penalty box. When you're standing in the penalty box, there's, how much time is left there?
I believe it's 10 seconds.
10 seconds. So when there's 10 seconds left in your penalty, you're allowed to stand up and prepare yourself. However, do not leave the chair before you were instructed. You will receive a second penalty for it.
Yep. Got to be careful about those penalties, especially when you're coming close to 7. Ooh, and they pop her out. Look at the Saskatoon defense is just killing it right now. Stig taking her all the way back just in time for Skid to come in and do a star pass. Very exciting.
Yeah, well, that's going on there. Parks and Rec is getting knocked around. Skid and the Stig are working there. I think they're getting some help too. That might be Irish there.
Smashinator really... Smashinator, oh, she is just fighting to get through, but she is not quite able. Trying to get that star back on before she comes in. And
while she was fighting there, that was Slamazonian. She was issued a multiplayer block, so she's going to sit down. So that might make it a little bit easier now for Smashinator to get through.
Ooh, and the Bees defense is really trying to hold up Dame Tamer as she comes on through, but now the two jammers are coming in neck and neck.
Now we're going to have a bit of a foot race here.
Oh, and a little bit jostling.
A little jammer on jammer action.
Oh, using her own team to her advantage, but she's stuck in the corner.
Dame Tamer able to get through and gets 4 points out of that one.
Oh, Smashinator to the ground, but she gets back up and she's using her team to her advantage. Oh, Dame Tamer takes advantage of the confusion, comes through again for some more points.
Dame Tamer's really utilizing that outside and that inside line there with that confusion while Smashinator's trying to get through. She's just kind of popping by. Killa Bees blockers trying to do offense, getting caught in the transition.
We got another blocker coming in for the Killer Bees. Hopefully that'll help them a little bit on this jam. But Dame Tamer comes in for another 4 points.
Dame Tamer is not wasting any time on this one. She's trying to rack up as many as she can. 5 seconds left on the jam timer again. We'll see what she can do.
Oh, and the jam's up. Looks like it was 12 score for Killa Bees and 17 for Flower Power on that jam.
A little bit of tumble there as Deathnella went down and Dame Tamer kind of tumbled over. And you can see right away Deathnella was looking to make sure that Dame Tamer was all right, trying to ensure everybody's safety. And you know what, it's fantastic. You watch all the hard-hitting action here. And then, you know, these girls at the end of the game, they're all friends.
Yeah.
There's no hard feelings, there's no hostility.
No, definitely, it's a... Ooh, look here, we got a replay on the star pass. Just really flailing it through, but she gets it, and she just really picks up on that.
Parks and Rec was working hard on that one.
And now we got a timeout. Everybody is going over strategy, figuring out what their next move is going to be.
Century mark! Yeah, rights you did. I mean, effing rights you did. Sorry, guys. Bad boy's laughing at me.
All right.
A little bit of color commentary there.
Coach McQuack, once again, one of our favorite coaches. Every coach, you know, it's fantastic. And something that really impresses me with the coaches here, you got Coach McQuack today, you got Blondie Lawless and Art Flash as well, bench coaching. The knowledge that they have to have of this game, it's not just knowing the plays, it's not just knowing the rules. You have to have that strategy mastered. You have to be able to explain exactly what you want, where you want it, and how you want it.
Yeah, definitely.
And in a sport this fast, this hard hitting, trying to make sure everybody's on the same page is not an easy task.
All right, we got McLeod 9 jamming up against roll-a-by.
Once again, Mexi Crash, Flamazonian.
They're just really solid defense, and they help their jammer out through, but Spanx Given is trying to chase her down.
Well, Mexi Crash and Bootstrap going up against McLeod9, knocked to the inside. Mexi Crash brings her back.
All right, and McLeod9 is giving a little bit of a hit to Rollaby.
She wasn't even worried about getting through the pack at that point. She just wanted some jammer action. She was going for.
Yeah, McLeod9's definitely known for being a little bit of an aggressive jammer. She's not afraid to give some hits as well as slide on through.
And there we go.
Jam's called off.
As Rollaby gets in there, trying to keep scoreless McLeod9, and effective at that, calling it off at just the right moment.
Yeah, they got a 7-point jam for Flower Power, taking them up to 186.
We got Irish, Pterodactyl, Skid, and 762 Vexatious Valkyrie lining up there. Now, who do we got for the Flower Power?
Dancing her way.
We're going to have Can Destroyer out there for the Flower Power, joined by Fish Dame Tamer.
It looks like Bull You Over is going to be jamming for Flower Power, so that'll be interesting. Usually we've been seeing her as a blocker, so let's see her stutter stuff as a jammer in this next jam.
You bet. Your Parks and Rec out there as well, blocking for the Flower Power.
Oh, and yeah, we got Mamie Pond too. One of our strong and powerful jammers for the Killa Bees. It's going to be an interesting jam.
Another timeout, this one called here by the Killa Bees. Coach McCrack taking the opportunity, trying to talk shop. You can see the girls on the bench trying to prepare, looking like they might be a little winded.
It's definitely interesting. There's been a few things that have held over from the old days of roller derby. You'll see some face paint, the cool names. There's a few little traditions that haven't died in the roller derby community. You definitely see less fishnets and less of some of the other stuff, but we like to hold on to some of the fun little traditions.
I think fishnets left one too many burn marks on people. That might have gone the wayside.
Definitely.
All right. There we go. We're getting ready.
And go. All right, see how Pterodactyl can do here. She's
doing lots, but not getting far. She's stuck up against that Flower Power blocker wall. And those blockers there, they have been just pivotal. They've been fantastic all day. Ooh. Wow, Flower Power Jammer was knocked down there at the back.
Yeah, it is just basically a clusters right now. Everybody's struggling and nobody's getting through. We'll see what Tara can do, but she's pushed out, so she has to come back in behind. She's going to try to use her team to maybe help her out, but a bit of confusion here. There's a penalty.
I believe that's going to be a back block penalty to 2.
Oh, it looks like we got a few things going on here. Pterodactyl's got lead jam, but we also have a star pass that is questionable.
The star pass has been negated because Bull You Over was issued a penalty.
Oh, so it looks like it's a power jam for the Killa Bees.
Yeah, because she was not able to pass the star before she was given the penalty, it negates it. Therefore, no jammer for Flower Power as Pterodactyl's on it.
She swum through there, just parted the waters and sliced on through. She's got lead jam and she's racking up 5 points.
Pterodactyl, you'd think you'd see her flying, and yet here she is today, just swimming through the crowd.
Let's see what the Killa Bees offense can do here for her. Try to get her through that defense. Looks like we got another penalty, though, for Skid, 54. Might be her 7th. We'll see.
They're getting up there. Now back on the track, that's Bull You Over. Bull You Over is trying to bull over Pterodactyl there.
But the jam is called off and in good time, so that takes the Killa Bees up 10 points, and the Flower Power doesn't get any on that jam.
Absolutely fantastic game. And here you go, Smashinator lining up there with Gypsy Joe. In 3 seconds from now, the whistle is going to blow, and the two of them are going to beat the crap out of each other. And yeah, here they are, giggling and laughing.
It's a fun sport, that's for sure. Oh, and Smashinator showing that fancy footwork. Oh, she stays in and manages to get, cut track, dang. That's too bad for her. She's going to the box.
Oh, that was a very close maneuver. She was working on it. Now, she was given lead jammer, and then the penalty was issued, so she's going to the box.
All right, so we have one blocker on for the Bees. Oh, Skid's coming back out.
Oh,
so that's 2.
Sorry, I'm going to have to correct myself. The lead jammer was given to Gypsy Joe, who was able to complete a grand slam. She's completed 2 now. That's 10 points picked up for Gypsy Joe.
Oh, and Mallory heads to the box. It is not looking good for the Killa Bees right now, with only one blocker and just a powerful jammer on right now.
Irish and Skid out there trying to do their best.
Oh, Smashinator comes on in, hoping to maybe get some points before the jam is over.
Gypsy Joe picked up another 5 there.
Oh, and she slides on through.
Right between Irish.
Yep. They call it off, not before Smashinator can at least get a few points, I think. Oh, maybe not. Nope. Looks like it is a 19-point jam for Flower Power and 0 for the Killa Bees.
Impressive. And you know, that's very good symbol of why they have to be so careful for those penalties. Every time you lose a blocker, it's that much easier to score a point. You score the point when you pass their hips, doesn't matter where they are. So if 3 people are sitting in the penalty box, that's 3 easy points every time you pass them.
Yeah, you pass the first blocker and you automatically get those 3 points for the person in the penalty box. That's brutal. Oh, and Chesty showing them what she's made of.
Parks and Rector getting wrecked a little bit by Chesty. She knocked her out.
All right, but Gotham gets knocked out too, so it's a bit of a fight here to see who's going to get lead jam.
Round and around and around they go.
Spanx Given trying to give some action to Parks and Rec. Stig coming in too, and who's got lead jam? Is it Gotham? It is. Now Stig is out on a penalty.
Now you still have trying to work through there. Parks and Rec's not having a whole lot of luck. Mallory up there giving her trouble, but she's getting some help from her teammate there, Bootstrap.
Chesty is just being aggressive, really just hammering out Parks and Rec and taking her home.
Mallory and Spanx Given there as well, not making it any easier.
And that's a 5-point score for Gotham. She really just hammered that one in. Took advantage of the situation and ran with it. Oh, that was a bit of an elbow, but the refs aren't calling it, so. Oh, and Gotham's down.
Dame Tamer there with that big whip and hit to Chesty. Whew.
Yep. Definitely an aggressive game, that's for sure. Gotham trying to get through that powerful wall, and she cuts around like butter, calling it off. Scoring 5 points. A neat little run for her.
8 minutes and 56 seconds left. Flower Power currently sitting at 205 points. The Killa Bees 120. Mexi Crash, Fish lining up, Slamazonian, as well as Gypsy Joe now. Looks like she's gonna wear the pivot stripe.
Yeah, and the Killa Bees are down right now, but that doesn't always mean anything because you can score 20-some points in one jam. That's 2 minutes of time, so it still could be anyone's game at this point.
And the Cloud9 did have a power start, but Parks and Rec is back on the track already.
Oh, and she is really getting held up by that defense, just getting smushed by Gypsy Joe. And oh, her teammates come in to help her, and she slams down. Oh, 57 takes quite the hit there.
Mexi Crash trying to get in the way, and she was sent flying there. She really crashed on that one.
Yeah, no, as I said before, Cloud9 is an aggressive jammer. She is not unwilling to hit people. She'll get in there and she'll destroy you.
Oh, look at her. She's still going. Mexi Crash, Slamazonian, it doesn't matter who. She's going to go.
She takes a bit of a pump from Slamazonian, but she's still going in strong. Oh, just getting hammered by the, like, as it said, aptly named, Slamazonian.
Now, while this is happening, keeps getting dragged back. It's like Groundhog Day. Cloud9's not able to get past Slamazonian. Parks and Rec isn't having much better luck there against Rocket.
Oh, shoot! Cloud9 passes them all, calls it off. Scores a nice little run there, but not after getting beaten. Whew.
Oh, it does look like we have an injury on the track here.
Everyone's going to take a knee, skate back to the benches, and get this hopefully sorted out. All right, we're going to see a replay here. Look at McLeod9 just giving it to them. Like, she is really not afraid to be aggressive as a jammer.
Look at her. Look at her go.
Oh, and she comes around the side. Oh, takes a hit, but just keeps on going, hitting back hard.
She got some really good teammate there, too, came in and gave her that nice little maneuver she was able to get through.
Oh, watch her get hit again and just slam down, calling off that jam, but not before she scores all those points.
Absolutely fantastic to watch her play. She doesn't slow down.
No.
You know, you'll notice, oh, and our injured player's up on her own feet. That's an excellent thing to see.
Yeah, heading back to the bench, skating on her own. No broken bones, thankfully.
Something you'll notice with jammers, and it all kind of depends on their play style, right? Where some of them would rather stop or slow down and readjust and find that angle. Other jammers like McLeod9 or Chesty, for example, they don't stop, they don't slow down, they speed up.
They become bulldozers, and it can be really effective, especially when you're against some smaller blockers or just people who aren't expecting the jammer to be quite so aggressive.
Oh yeah, and for those two, it doesn't matter who's in front of them. There could be an open path, but if they decide they're going through someone, they're going through someone.
All right.
Here we go, Death Nella lining up.
Setting up for a jam. See what happens here.
I think she's going up against Dame. No, that's not Dame Tamer. That is Rollaby.
And Thanksgiving is trying to give her heck, but Rollaby comes on through.
No, Death Nella was knocked to the inside. She's going to reset here. Looking for some teamwork from Skid and Pterodactyl.
Just hit by Slamazonia. That's a hard defense person to come up against. Oh, and Terror is trying to take down Rollaby, but she's too quick.
Death Nella's working through now. She's stuck up against a couple different ones now. I think that's Bootstrap up there and Can Destroyer.
And she does a star pass. Let's see if this works out for them.
Pterodactyl trying to chase down Rollaby. She's able to get past, though, gets 5 points. And we have some confusion on the star pass. Thanksgiving issued a penalty.
So we have no jammer because the star pass was unsuccessful and there was a penalty. So I'm not sure. It looks like Death Nella is able to pick up the helmet cover, put it back on, and come back in as a jammer. So at least, yeah.
The penalty must have then been issued prior to the star pass.
Yeah.
Therefore, if it was issued during, the pivot would take the star out of play with them.
All right, Death Nella is fighting to get through, but she's up against some really tough defense here.
Slamazonian is sitting down in the penalty box now as well.
Yeah, hopefully that'll give Death Nella at least a little bit of a break when it comes to fighting through, but...
Not really, because that's Can Destroyer and Bootstrap up there not letting Nella through easily. Woo-wee.
She makes it.
She really had to work on that one.
Yeah, jams off, but she did her best. Sometimes it's hard. Those blockers can be super tough, super solid. All right, our penalty box is pretty full right now.
Some days I think they need more chairs in there with the way the games go. Unbelievable.
No kidding.
So who do we got here now? We've got 8 Dame Tamer for the Flower Power.
And ooh, wow. Coming in through, that's 519. Valkyrie getting lead jam for the Killer Bees. Hopefully going to score them some points in this one. Oh, Dame Tamer comes on through though.
Dame Tamer was given a really big hit there at the beginning. She was a little slow getting moving. Back on the track, Slamazonian now.
Valkyrie gets 4 points there, calling off the jam before the Flower Power is able to score any, taking them up to 129.
Here's that hit now. Dame Tamer's working in there.
Oh!
Talk about putting yourself just in the right spot. Chesty not letting her get past her.
Yeah, that's a great hit from Chesty. She really knows how to slam people down when she needs to.
Talk about positioning, knowing where to put your body for that maximum result.
Definitely. A lot of the time it comes down to just being able to pop yourself down right at the right moment as that jammer's coming through. And then you can launch her over your side, your back, and she'll come right out.
Now we have another Timeout called. This one now, I believe, being charged to the Flower Power. I can't believe it. This has been an absolutely phenomenal game.
Definitely, like even though we have quite different scores right now, we've seen some really good plays on behalf of both teams. Hard-hitting defense and fast and flashy jamming, and it just, you know, it's only going to get better. Last 3 minutes and 59 seconds of this game.
Oh yeah, there's no giving up in roller derby. There's no mercy rule. There's just all out giver. Get as many points as you can, fast as you can. Doesn't matter what the difference in the score is.
Yeah, you even see the Bees smiling and laughing out there right now, even though they're down. They're still having a good time, still playing hard.
This is the best way to learn, right? They've got to get out there and they've got to play the games. And you're going to win some, you're going to lose some.
All right, we got Gotham coming in against Gypsy Joe. Okay.
Both jammers right away to the back of the pack, not getting far.
Whoop. Oh, and Gotham running on her toe stops and just really getting that lead jam. Using her legs. Oh, and Smashinator popping and Gypsy Joe out. Trying to keep her, but she gets on through. All right, let's see what kind of offense the Bees can do. Oh yeah, just enough to get Gotham through again.
Gypsy Joe is able to skirt past, kind of hung up there, but got around. Picked up 4 points.
All right, let's see what Gotham can do here. She's coming up against hard defense again. She calls it off. Smart move. She's got a, looks like a 4-4 Killa Bees Flower Power in that jam.
Ooh-wee. Now, there was a penalty issued somewhere at the end of that in the confusion. It looks like Killa Bees are going to start without a pivot. So they'll be down. Who do they got out there? They got Chesty out there. They got Skid out there, and it's McLeod9 as well.
And then Mallory is starting as their jammer here.
Mexi Crash is going to go up against her. Ooh, Mexi Crash crashes into Chesty.
And that's just, oh, yeah, Mallory finds that opening and just slices on through to the front. Followed close behind by Mexi Crash.
I think Chesty took a pretty hard hit to the floor there. She looked a little slow coming off the ground.
But she does not give up. Oh, Mallory calling it off just at the right moment.
Mallory trying to call it off fast enough so that points wouldn't get scored. However, Flower Power was still able to get through there and got 4 points. Not quite the result I think Mallory was looking for on that one.
Definitely not. It's all because of that penalty box as well. So if you have someone sitting in the penalty box, you get their point for the person in the box and for the person you pass first. So that's how Flower Power was able to get 4 points on that jam, and Killa Bees were only able to get 3.
Here we go. Who do we got going now? Pterodactyl.
Oh yeah, and looks like Slamazonian is on the track again. So Pterodactyl's up against a hard defense, but she skips around like nobody's business.
She just kind of jumps past her, makes it look easy almost.
Yeah,
you
no
know?
big deal. Just jumping on my toe steps.
Just another day playing roller derby.
Oh, and she gets a power jam. So
yeah, that's Rollerby that's going to have to sit down for a while now.
Oh, yes, uses her teammates to help her get through, and that's another 5 points.
We're getting some really good show of, you know, just strong play today. Absolutely fantastic.
All
so
right.
now,
coming through, it looks like they're doing a jailbreak. This is where the Killa Bees here are using all 4 players to block the defense for Flower Power and let Pterodactyl just come right through.
a good strategy. Apparently it worked well. Pterodactyl picks up 5.
They might be doing it again here. We'll see. Are they forming up that line? Coming in.
No, instead they're going to line up and stop Rollerby as she comes onto the track now, going back to defensive positions.
Let's see if Pterodactyl is going to try pushing through or if she's going to call it off.
She's forced to the outside. 42 seconds left in the jam.
Oh, but they keep taking Rollerby back, so Pterodactyl might get another chance to score a few more points.
And that's Candy Stroyer has been issued a multiplayer block, so she's being sent over to the penalty box.
Let's see. Ooh, is there going to be a star pass? Nope, never mind. I am just not able to see.
getting excited.
I'm getting too excited. I love star passes. Oh, and she gets 5 points. And look, Valkyrie just hits out the jammer. Ooh. Jammer down.
And with that, score runs out right now. Score sitting at 229-151. That can change. We're just going to wait a minute here for our official score. But what a fantastic game.
That was an amazing jam for Pterodactyl. It's 15 points to 0 for Flower Power. So she managed to pick their score up quite a bit in that last jam.
That was unbelievable. Holy smokes.
People are lining up. The game is over, but that was a great last jam for the Killer Bees.
Wow, wow, wow. I don't know what else to say.
Yeah, that was amazing. You know, despite the change in score, the Killer Bees kept going, kept playing, never stopped. And Flower Power really showed a lot of aggressive defense and just some really good jamming in that game.
You betcha. And now with that, we're going to say the official score: Flower Power 229, Killa Bees 151.
All right, what a great game. And stay tuned for more action when we're going to have the Mind Fox coming up next against the Avalanche City All-Stars. That's going to be a phenomenal game.
Thank you very much, everybody, for watching our Killa Bees versus the Flower Power at our 10th year class reunion. I'm Fat Boy.
And I'm Mad Max.
Thanks for watching.